Fridays you can do whatever you want, and you chose to spend your day here with us, and for that we thank you, all of us. Well, guess what, everyone? The time has come. The next stand-up is me, Stacey. Thank you. Yes. As I said at the beginning of the show, I am very happy to be back in Frederick for this. I lived here for several years. Oh, sorry. I saw waving. I was like, hello! Hello there! Did you just arrive at this show? Well, welcome. We're happy to have you. Is it also your birthday?
No.
All right, that's fine. Is it anyone else's birthday? Oh my gosh, it is? Sir, everyone? Wait, sir, what is your name?
Sean.
Everyone, I think I know what we need to do. We're dropping everything. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and we're going to sing a wonderful rendition, heart-wrenching, of Happy Birthday for Sean. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sean. Happy birthday to you.
Yes. Okay. Is it anyone else's birthday? All right. Nobody else. Is anyone's birthday tomorrow? All right. We're going to move on then. We're totally moving on. So, as I said at the beginning of the show, I lived in Frederick for several years. It's always good to be back. Most of the time when I'm not here, and I'm only here a few times a year at Sky Stage, I perform in DC. And that's how I met a lot of the performers over here, is through performing stand-up and improv in DC. DC is very, it's different than Frederick. I have never been yelled at as painstakingly long as I have in Frederick as I have been in DC. Case in point, the other day I was walking to a comedy show and I was at an intersection and I waited for the signal to appear for me to be able to cross the street. So eventually the signal appeared and I started to cross the street. Unfortunately, while that was happening, a car that was supposed to go straight decided to make a right turn and could not do it because I was in the intersection. So the driver of the vehicle had to stop his car and wait for me to cross the intersection, at which point I did. And then he rolled down his car window and he leaned out of it and he yelled at me, "What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?" And everyone, I'm a quiet person. Like, I would even say that I'm a pleasant to be around person most of the time. But there was just something about this guy that really irritated me, so I turned and yelled at him, "You don't want to know! You don't even want to know what's wrong with me!" And everyone, he drove away. So I think I got the best of that exchange. You never know what's going to happen when you yell at someone. It's really interesting because in those situations, it's like, what if he got out of his car? What would I do? Well, I don't know. I have this saying that I sometimes say to myself, which I think is true, and I'm going to say it to you all right now. It is, whenever you want help, you don't get it. Oh. Yeah, that guy has something to prove. But it's true, whenever you want help, you don't get it. But whenever you don't want help, you get it. Case in point, this week was crazy, right? There's all this rain. Most people walk through the rain like a normal person. But I fell at one point. I slipped and fell, thanks. It was upsetting. And at that moment, I slipped in the street. And like 10 people rushed to my aid. And they're like, "Ma'am, do you need help?" And I shot right up. I was like, "No! I don't want your help!" And they're like, "Do you want to talk about the World Wildlife Foundation?" They're those people. They're those people you always see. They try to get you to sign up for something. But they were really helpful. Meanwhile, though, you try to get help and you can't get it. Like, whenever you go to Macy's, there's no one there to help you. I don't care what Macy's you're going to, the Frederick Mall, any mall that I've been to. I'm always like, where are my supplies? Does no one ever work at the Macy's? Figure it out, everyone. I don't know. I don't have the detective skills to figure it out. It's like, who here has seen this wonderful movie? It's called Grizzly Man. It came out in the early 2000s. A few people, yeah, okay. So for everyone else, this is what it's about. I'm going to give you a brief rundown of it. It's a documentary about a real story about this man named Timothy Treadwell, who is a researcher, and for years he researched grizzly bears. So he would research them, but he would also interact with them in a very hands-on way. Like, he would actually touch them, he would give them names, he would take their food and interact with them like that. And for years, people tried to warn him against doing that because bears can get, as we all know, very hostile and aggressive. And he did this for 13 years. For 13 seasons, he studied the grizzly bears. And now researchers and scientists think that the only reason he wasn't attacked for 13 years was because the bears were so bamboozled by the fact that he got so close to them. Because I think if anyone here saw a bear even tangentially close to us, we would immediately, go. We would find a direction to leave. But he would just go right up to them and be like, I'm back! And he'd give them names like Mr. Brown and Mr. Black. But unfortunately, his 13th year that he was researching these bears, a bear attacked him, mauled him to death. Which this is a very sad part of the story. But I think at the end of the day, when you really look at the documentary, you see someone who is so confident in their speaking abilities and general persuasiveness that they thought they could communicate with this other species. And I think that if that's true, then I am able to talk to people. Because people are my own species, and you probably won't maul me to death. Probably. The train's here. Side note, everyone. That was a train. The other day, I have one of those friends who shares all those Facebook quizzes. Maybe you have a friend who does that, like one of those, take this and find out who you're marrying and how many kids you're gonna have. And normally I avoid those like the plague, but 2 weeks ago I was like, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna do it, why not? I have nothing to lose. So I did it. Answered all these convoluted questions, clicked all these boxes, pressed the enter button, submitted the quiz. And then what I got back from doing all this hoopla was HTTP connection error. That's probably correct, to be totally honest, that's correct. I am at a crossroads of my life. I'm almost 28. Hooray!